Tired of spending your stimulus check on macarons from bougie patisseries? Why not save your coins and dignity by DIYing macarons at home? But aren't macarons super hard to make, you ask? Forget all that defeatist noise and limiting self-talk. In this video, I will reveal the last macaron recipe that you'll ever need and the surprising tips and tricks the top bakeries don't want you to know. With my help, you'll be cranking out the it desserts beloved by middle-aged women everywhere and feel like Emily in Paris without the matchy couture wardrobe. Stay tuned. Welcome to E to Z Baking, a show where I demystify the most decadent, delicious, and dazzling pastries that start with the letters E to Z. I am Maria Philo, a #1 self-taught and self-designated baker. But back to the macarons. The colorful little French cookies, sometimes confused for those gross coconut clumps that basically taste like almond joy macaroons, aka the poor man's dessert. For this project, you will need almond flour, salt, eggs, powdered sugar, castor sugar, yes, that's 2 different types of sugars, vanilla extract, food coloring, heavy cream, unsalted butter, and beer. You will also need a scale, sieve, bowls, mixer, spoon, parchment paper, double trays, piping bag, 4-leaf clover, lucky dice, rabbit foot, ladybug, and a horseshoe for good luck. First, if Mercury is in retrograde, do not even attempt this recipe. Otherwise, if there's a double rainbow in the sky, well, then you're good to go. Set the dehumidifier to bring the level in the room below 50. Begin your prep by selecting a non-porous bowl, like a stainless steel bowl or a glass bowl that has been blessed by the Pope. Wipe it down with vinegar to remove any excess oils, then proceed to separate your eggs from your egg whites, and those should be aged eggs. How aged should they be? I like my eggs to be precisely 5 dog days old, but if you're in an area that doesn't have the exact age of your eggs in dog days, then head to your local 7-Eleven. They won't be fresh. Oh yes, by the way, you should do this step 24 hours before you even begin the baking process. Sage the kitchen to ward off any evil spirits that might be lurking, trying to sabotage your macarons. We can't have that kind of negative energy up in here. Oh, just make sure you don't set off your alarm. Channeling your inner Conor McGregor, beat the egg whites until foamy, then add the cream of tartar. Once the beater starts leaving tracks in your egg whites, you want to add your granulated sugar a third at a time. Once all the sugar has been fully incorporated into the bowl and before the mixture has reached stiff peaks, you want to add your gel coloring. Now, what am I talking about? Well, if there's like an S curl at the end of the mixture, then that's when you want to add the food coloring. Now for the gel food coloring, since this is a more potent form of food color, it won't add too much moisture to your batter, so the macaron batter doesn't combust. How many drops does it take? A 1, a 2, a 3. Maybe a 4. Continue beating your egg whites until stiff peaks form.
Hey, did you whip the eggs before you added the sugar?
If you get questioned by a pesky mansplainer, just whip out that handy beer that we discussed earlier on to send him on his merry way. Let's talk about stiff peaks for a second. So one way to test if you have stiff peaks is to take the bowl, hold it upside down above your head. If it doesn't fall, then you're good to go. But I just got a blowout. So I would say the best way to tell if you have stiff peaks is to consult a magic 8-ball. And now for a quick commercial break. This video is sponsored by gin. For when your 48-hour baking project tests your patience, strength, and endurance. Welcome back. Fun fact, did you know that macarons clock in at less than 60 calories per bite? Although, if you can stop at only one, you're probably a psychopath. Anyway, now we're going to mix our almond flour and our icing sugar, and we're gonna use a sieve to do that.
You can also pulse the mixture in a food processor, but I'm a purist and I also don't want to load another appliance in the dishwasher.
Now, the next step is to pour your almond mixture into your stiff peaks, and using a spatula and the patience of one of those people who take those tiny ships and put them into bottles.
Turns out that's a lot easier than I thought, so forget that analogy.
We're gonna fold the almond and the powdered sugar mixture into the egg whites. You don't want to mix or stir or breathe for that matter.
How do we know when the batter is ready? A magnifying glass. Duh. Perfect! Scoop the batter into a piping bag. They say using a tall glass makes it easier, but they also say all children are blessings, so we're getting closer now. Pipe the macarons onto your baking sheet. Yes, they might look like poo emojis right now, but we're gonna fix that in a second by banging the living hell out of the pan so that the batter settles. Do not skip this step unless you want sad macarons.
Next,
let the macarons rest.
now while your macarons are resting, you want to heat the oven to 320 degrees Fahrenheit or 160 degrees centigrade or Celsius.
Now, we could make the filling during this time, but after you bake the macarons, you need to rest another 24 hours before you can eat them. So that's a future you problem. Instead, I'm going to eat the batter and enjoy some of this free sponsored gin.
After 30 minutes has passed, choose one of the macarons as tribute and just lightly run your finger across it. There should be a thin film. So we're going to take the tray and we're going to put the tray in the middle of the oven, one tray at a time. You know, social distancing and all that.
Back to procrastinating on that filling. I mean, it's honestly just sugar and butter, so do you really need a tutorial? And now, the moment of truth. The moment you've been waiting for. Et voila. See, wasn't that easy? Perfectly perfect, foolproof macarons every time. Happy binging!
Oh no. If you do happen to make a oopsie like I did, just pour those eggs into the frying pan and
turn this thing on. Scary.
why are there children's safety locks on mixers?